Back to Around the Stable. As always, I'm Coach Stevens. I'm joined by Coach Mahon, Coach Staff, Coach Harrington, and then we have our special guests. We have Max-Andrew Sercy with us today, and Miss Maggie Lucas. So before we dive into everything today, we're going to shout out our students of the week. For me, for 8th grade, I have Leilani Barrett. 7th grade, I have Ashley Gomez. And 6th grade, I have Braden Shuey. All right, I will throw it now over to Coach Mahon for her students of the week.
For 8th grade, I have Jacob Litko of the Litko and Love It show. Check them out. They're pretty awesome. 7th grade, I have Adam Wiedner. And then for 6th grade, I have Natalie Granter. So congrats to you guys. I will toss it over to Coach Staff.
Hey, I'm Coach Staff. My students of the week are 8th grade, Nas Jones. He does an amazing job in the gym. 7th grade, Trenton Gartner. Great job all around in the gym and at home. And 6th grade, Taylor Brewer. She has 100% in PE, and she always makes me laugh. She's virtual, but she's always making the class laugh at home. So thanks, guys. Great job. Keep it up. And Coach Harrington, who are your student shout-outs?
All right. My student shout-outs go to my 8th grader, Ethan Bosler. He is a virtual student, but he always has his camera on, and he's always at class. My 7th grade shout-out goes to the Foot Knight magnet herself, Cadence Stein. For some reason, that Foot Knight ball just has a way of getting her out. And my 6th grader is Logan Cockman. So he's a hustler, loves to play. So I love to watch him in the gym playing.
All right. So today, with baseball and softball season starting up soon, I think college has already started. And I think the professionals start fairly soon. I think spring training starts soon. We're going to be talking about that today. So like my granddad taught me, we're going to go ladies first. So we're going to throw it over to Coach M and Maggie to talk about some softball stuff.
Yeah, so this past year I was I guess the previous season was the head coach of the softball team and would have this season, but thanks to COVID, it threw a wrench in our plans. But Maggie actually played for us. She was a pitcher, a first baseman, kind of whatever we needed that day. But if you could, Maggie, could you tell us a little bit about the team and a little bit about your experience on our team?
Yeah, it was really fun. I enjoyed playing. I made a lot of friends playing, and I really enjoyed it. I always looked forward to going to the games and everything, like riding on the bus even. That was just a lot of fun. And the coaches were great. But yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm hoping that, now you're an 8th grader, so next year I'll still be helping you out up at Southern Lee. So I look forward to that because you were quite a pleasure to work with. But thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. I did want to today throw some history facts about softball because softball is starting up in the college world. They started playing, I believe it was 2 weekends ago, my alma mater, UNC. They're actually playing at Alabama this weekend. They're going to play Alabama and Triton, 2 really good teams. So I'm going to definitely check them out, see how they play this weekend. But just want to throw a little history lesson at y'all today. So I got a couple of dates here. Some things I didn't even realize until I really started diving deep more into it. So back in 1887, softball was, I guess you could say, first invented because Yale and Harvard came together to play a football game. And some of the alumni were hanging out, and one of the players from Yale or from Harvard, not sure specifically, had a boxing glove and threw it at another person, and they just happened to have a stick in their hand, and they swung and hit it, and it just ensued a game. And so from there, that was up in Chicago. So from there in Chicago, they tried to come up with names. They would call it indoor baseball, diamond ball, mush ball, because they were using a boxing glove. You know, whatever you got that day, basically is what happened. But from Chicago, it kind of grew out. Men liked to play it during the wintertime because you were able to play it indoors. The ball was roughly about 16 inches. So an actual softball, 12-inch softball is about like this. So like 16 inches, I would imagine would be a little bit more like this. So that's pretty big right there. And now we currently play between a 10-inch ball, which is a little bit smaller, and then a 12-inch ball, depending on how old you are. So just as like a reference, so when 1887, whenever softball was invented, baseball actually came to be around the 1845. So just kind of giving you a little time frame. I know Coach Harrington will go into more about that a little bit later on, but just kind of want to throw that out there. But in 1895, softball, or it wasn't called softball just yet, I'll get to that, was introduced to women through high school in Chicago. So that's when women started to play this mush ball or diamond ball a little bit more. Moving on into 1926, so almost 30 years later, this is when softball got its name, and a gentleman at the National Recreation Congress meeting dubbed the name softball, and it stuck. All right, so moving on into 1934 is when official rules came to softball. Up to that point, it was kind of like however many people are out there, let's play. Maybe we'll have so many outs and then we'll switch back and forth. So it was kind of like wherever you were what the rules were until 1934, and those rules were made. Up into 1972, that's when Title IX came to be. So softball became a little bit more relevant. And then in 1974, that's when college started to offer scholarships to softball players. So that was pretty cool. Moving on into 1982 was the first Women's College World Series as far as D1, D2, and D3 go. So that was pretty cool. Surprisingly enough, even though softball kind of like started in Chicago, the West Coast dominated in the world of softball for a very long time, and it slowly kind of like made its way over. This is just me guessing, but I feel like it got pretty well known out there and became pretty popular because it's always sunny, it's always warm, like you can always be outside, whereas up north, not as much. So yeah, that was 1982 College World Series. And then in 1996, it officially became a sport in the Olympics. So that was pretty cool. I don't necessarily remember that time when they were playing, but I do remember watching softball over the years. In 2004, the Pro League came to be. It's been relatively small. There's only been a couple of teams, maybe like 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 at some point, but it's been relatively small. A lot of people will go overseas and play softball. It's a little bit more popular. There's a little bit more leagues out there. And then sadly, I do remember this because I do remember crying after the Olympics. In 2008, softball was removed from the Olympics. So that I do remember crying because of that. Because it was like really the biggest platform that softball was on. And so it was like kind of like taken away from me my dreams to play in the Olympics. However, in 2020, they are coming back. There's been kind of like stipulations as to why it was taken out. Some people think it was because of funds, because I know baseball was taken out of it as well, softball and baseball, because anytime you go and you have the Olympics, they always have to build the stadium. So I know that's a big contributor. Some people were saying because the U.S. always won it, but I do know in 2008, I believe it was China actually won the gold that year. So that was like, maybe not so much. But yeah, in 2020, it will return. Well, now 2021, thanks to COVID. So this year it will return. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, that kind of wraps up my little history lesson on softball. But yeah, I guess I'll throw it over to Coach Harrington, and he will now talk about baseball.
Well, before I get to baseball, I just got to ask you one question, Maggie. Looking back, because you've been a stud for us. I guess, I mean, I'm going to say stud. I'm not sure what the female term for stud is, but studette maybe. But looking back at your 6th grade and 7th grade year, what has been the most memorable game that you played in while you've been at Sandley Middle School? Because we've had some humdinger, great, exciting softball games. We were conference or division champs one year while you were here. So looking back, what game was the most exciting game you were in?
It was probably last year, the first game when we played West Pine, because they were up like 13 or something in like the last inning.
That was crazy. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. I was going to say that was going to be, it would have been on one of my top of my list, but y'all have had some great ones. So I wanted to hear from you. So explain what happened in that game.
So I think we had tied it up, and then there was 2 outs, I think. I'm not really sure. And their best hitter was up. And so I struck her out, and then we went in, and then we got in and scored. And we won.
And how much were we down going into that last inning?
I think
you
like
remember?
13, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable comeback. One of the greatest comebacks I've witnessed here at San Lee for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you like better? Pitching, playing first, shortstop? I know you can play anywhere, but what is your favorite position?
My favorite position is probably like second or short.
Okay. Now, you've got a sister that's pretty good too.
Yeah.
All right. So how when y'all are sitting around the dinner table at night, and I know y'all got to talk about this because it happens at my house as well. Who's better?
Yeah.
You or Macy? I mean, so let me hear it from your mouth so we can kind of maybe settle the score right here and there, because Macy, she's a 10th grader now, and she played all 3 years here at San Lee as well and was an unbelievable softball player. So who's better, you or Macy?
I think I am, but yes, I don't know. I think I am.
Okay. Well, that's probably going to be debatable for sure. Maybe we need to bring you and Macy in at the same time to kind of settle that score. So, but anyway, good luck. I hope that I'm not giving up hope on softball yet. We may get a season in. We'll kind of know more about it tomorrow. And but we do, as everyone here at San Lee, we can't wait to see what you guys or what y'all do over there at Southern Lee, and can't wait to watch you. All right, so now we're going to switch gears, and we're going to head over to talk about baseball, the America's pastime. I don't really have that great of a history lesson on baseball. So I kind of just brought my guest on here today, which is Andrew Sercy, and I'm just going to drill him a lot about some baseball.
That is not my name.
Okay, what do we want to call you? M.A.? I mean, let's just go ahead.
Andrew.
Let's just go ahead and just get it out there. We're going to go with M.A. because that's kind of what you're known for in the baseball world. So we've got Max-Andrew on here today, and he is a stud baseball player here in our community. Unfortunately, we didn't have a baseball season last year due to COVID, and he was a 6th grader then. Hopefully we can get something. I haven't given up hope yet as well with baseball. But anyway, I have been looking forward to getting an opportunity to coach him. So we're just going to drill you with some questions. Coach Staff and Coach Mahone and Coach Stevens can jump in here. And if you've got a question to ask him, then feel free to jump in. But I guess to start with, how long have you been playing baseball?
I've been playing since I was like 4 years old at Southern Lee playing t-ball. With the
Okay.
little foam ball and the foam tee.
Oh yeah, I remember those days. Was your dad out there kind of helping you a
Yeah, he
little
was
bit?
running the bases with me.
Oh, okay. I remember those days with my kids as well. So you've been playing since you were 4. What is your favorite position? I mean, because I know you were kind of like Maggie. You can play anywhere. So what is your favorite position?
I like to play second base, and I like to play outfield, especially at my age now. They're hitting the ball out there a lot in the outfield.
Okay. Yep. Definitely. As you get older, the outfield definitely comes more important.
And also, you ain't got no one behind you except for the fence.
Okay. Well, it's always a good thing to have that fence back there.
Yeah.
All right. So what team are you playing on right now? I mean, because I know travel ball is huge. And so which team are you playing for right now?
I'm playing with C35 13U.
C35 13U. Now, when you guys play tournaments, do y'all play primarily in North Carolina, or do you guys play maybe?
We play in South Carolina.
Okay. So
That's where
sometimes.
Jalen likes to play.
Okay. So on the travel team that you play for with C35, what position do you play there? Second?
I play a lot of like left field and center field. And
Okay.
I play second base, and I come in and pitch a lot after Ryan.
Okay. So you come in after, I know a little bit about your team. So I know Ryan is kind of a hard thrower.
Yeah.
And they bring you in behind him. So that sounds like to me, you've got quite a bit of, some nasty pitches. So what's your go-to pitch? Is it your curveball, your slider, your changeup? What's your go-to pitch?
I mean, if my curveballs, if I can throw it good, it's good, but it just depends on the day most of the time.
That's true with baseball pitchers. And you're either on or you're off, and some days it's this pitch working better than another pitch. So sounds like the curveball is the one you like to go to if it's on. So
Yeah.
Nice.
I like to take them high and in with a fastball.
Oh, a little sweet chin music. So kind of like brush them off the plate, scare the batter a little bit. And then come in with that nasty curveball. I see your strategy. That looks good. Now, when you go high and inside, has anyone ever charged the mound while you've been pitching or gave you a dirty look or, any of that? Had it ever happened? Has the dugouts cleared?
No.
Never happened. Okay. Well, it sounds like you probably will experience that at some point in your baseball career, I'm sure. So I guess we'll touch a little bit about pro baseball. And so who's your favorite Major League Baseball player?
I mean, since we've been watching the Nationals a lot, I like Bryce Harper, but now he's not on there. I mean, he's on the Phillies now.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you still kind of follow Bryce Harper then?
Yeah.
But the Nationals is your team. All right. So next question, since we've on the topic of who's your favorite baseball team, we're just going to go around the stable and see who's our favorite baseball teams with our coaches, and we're going to ask Maggie who her favorite baseball team is. So we'll start off with Coach Staff. Who's your favorite baseball team, Coach Staff?
Sure. Well, speaking of Bryce Harper, I grew up in a Philadelphia family, so I've been a big Phillies fan, but mostly I followed the Phillies heavily while I was living in Philly, going to college in Philadelphia. In fact, I named my puppy at the time, this was in 2009, named my puppy after one of the best Philadelphia broadcasters ever, and his name was Harry Callis, and he passed away, but I did name my puppy after him, and that era of baseball, at least on the Phillies, was the dream team. They won the World Series, and That was with Chase Utley and Ryan Howard, Shane Victorino, Jason Worth was there, but then went over to the Nationals. Gosh, that was the team. So hopefully sometime in the near future, the Phillies can get back to that status.
So who was your favorite Phillies player then?
I mean, so truly, I guess I don't have one at the current times, but if you were to ask me 10 years ago, I would have said Shane Victorino or Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins even. They're really the players that I followed. But currently, I'm more of a runner in the spring right now, so I got to get back into following baseball. I do. How about you, Coach Harrington? What are your favorite teams and players?
Oh, well, my favorite team is by far, hands down, the St. Louis Cardinals. That's been a team that's been in my family. So that's my grandpa pulled for them, my dad. So that's inbred in me. So I'm a Cardinals fan. But my favorite player of all time is number 8, Cal Ripken. Because it's just amazing that all the games that he played in consecutively, and he played shortstop, my favorite position. And so, I mean, he was just dedicated to working hard every day and being on the field every day and did not make any excuses. So Cal Ripken's my favorite player. So let's flip it over there to Tish. Who's your favorite MLB team?
So I would have to say that I enjoy the Braves. They're not the most winningest team in the world, but I did live in Georgia for about 3 years, and so I like watching the Braves.
Well, this is Braves country. I mean, so yeah. I mean, there's a lot of Braves fans around. So I like the Braves too. I mean, I'll have to say I'm a Braves fan as well. So who's your favorite Braves player of all time?
I mean, you gotta go with Chipper Jones there on that one. I feel like to me that's a no-brainer. But yeah, I enjoyed like watching like his highlights because obviously I don't necessarily remember him playing too much. But definitely the Braves. And it's, also too, like North Carolina doesn't have like a professional baseball team associated with it. It has, like the Durham Bulls, things like that. But I will say my husband is a huge New York Yankee fan, and has watched them play quite a few times. Yeah, I know.
That's bad. You just got married, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. Is it too late to annul that marriage?
Yeah, I think it's a little too far. He said I can't give him back, so I gotta keep him.
All right. Well, we'll keep him.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna drop down to Miss Maggie. Who is your favorite baseball team? I know your dad was an extremely great athlete. Could play any sport in high school. Was a college basketball player. So I know that you're more into softball, but who's your baseball team? Because I know baseball's talked around your house. So who's your favorite Major League Baseball team?
For right now, it's probably the Braves. Even though they don't win very much, it's probably the Braves.
I think the Braves are up and coming. I mean, they had a good, solid run last year into the playoffs, and I think the Braves are going to be solid again this year. They've got a lot of young talent on that team, so I'm excited to see what the Braves can do as well. All right, we're going to finish up with Coach Stevens, and then I've got one last question for MA about baseball. So who's your favorite team there, Mr. Stevens?
Kind of a complicated question for me because I went back and forth growing up. I loved the Braves as a little kid, and I remember watching when they had Chipper and Andrew Jones and Brian Jordan, and you had Greg Maddux, followed by Tom Glavine, followed by John Smoltz. I mean, to have 3 Hall of Fame pitchers in your rotation was really fun to watch. And I still like them pretty good, but I also like the Kansas City Royals. I always liked them for whatever reason. I don't know. I just kind of picked them. So they're kind of my 1A and 1B. I do have a number 2 team, though, because my fiance is from Pittsburgh, and I went to a Pirates game last year, and they are absolute garbage, but I still like them for whatever reason. Maybe the Pirates mascot helps since I went to ECU. So I would say Pirates and Royals, or I'm sorry, Braves and Royals right here, and then Pirates way over here. As far as favorite player, John Smoltz was my guy growing up, and I think it was because my dad at the time looked exactly like him, and so I tried to convince myself that my dad's alias was John Smoltz, and so he was actually the pitcher for the Braves, and then he would just come home. He would transport home real fast, and then all of a sudden he turned into Scott Stevens. But nowadays, I would probably say Mike Trout would probably be my favorite because he was going to go to ECU had he gone to college, but he also plays so hard. And I appreciate pro athletes that go out there and try to earn that paycheck. I don't know how much you can go out and earn millions and millions of dollars by playing a game, but I appreciate the guys that at least put in the effort to go out there and earn it as much as possible. And I think him and Bryce Harper are kind of like that, cut from the same mold in that way, that they're just ultra competitive. So those are kind of my favorite teams and players. And I think we're going to hear from Max-Andrew, who's trying to call me some kind of bandwagon, even though the Angels are terrible, but Mike Trout's good. So,
all right. One last question. I know Max has not put on a purple and gold Sandley jersey yet. So my question to you, Max, before we kind of leave this baseball, softball around the stable, is looking back at all of your games that you have played. What has been the most memorable baseball game that you've played in? And you can just tell everyone out here, give it some scenario of why it was so memorable.
Well, back in the fall, last year at Northview, I hit my first home run in the game, actually against Tommy's team.
Oh, my God! You got to be kidding me.
No, what?
Oh, yes, it was. He hit his first dinger against my team. So, well, at least I was part of it. So I'm feeling very blessed to have been part of your favorite baseball moment. So where did that home run go? Was it
a line shot over right field?
Yeah, because I remember that quite well. It was a line shot right over right field, and it left the park in a hurry. There was no doubt it was a line shot, and it looked like, if I remember correctly, when it went over the fence, it was still rising. And I'm not even sure if it's landed. I saw a baseball the other day that was on the Mars rover, and so possibly that could have been your baseball that finally landed in Mars. So that was a shot, and I do remember that. And you can thank me for that pitch that I called, because
he ain't got nothing but fastballs.
If I remember correctly, I even broke down and told my assistant coach, I'm going to give Max something that he can hit.
That's not true. You always be putting curveball. Yeah, and you don't hit it either. I know that's why I swing out the first pitch against you.
All right. So we've had some great times with Max-Andrew. We've had some awesome memories of Maggie here at Sandley and her softball career. Not to mention, I forgot to tell you, Maggie also played basketball and volleyball for us, and I begged her to come out for girls soccer, and she could have done that sport as well if she wanted to, and probably played golf and tennis. That's how good of an athlete she is. And so we are thankful that you guys joined us today. Thanks for sharing some memories about your baseball and softball careers, and I'm going to send it back over there to our host, Coach Stevens.
All right, I think we do have a couple bonus questions. I think Coach Staff, as always, wants to talk about some food. And then, but I do have one question before that. And it has to do with like superstitions and rituals and stuff like that, because baseball and softball is littered with that kind of stuff. You know, you usually hear a lot of cheering from the softball dugouts just throughout the whole game. It's an atmosphere from a baseball game. And that's why I really like going to softball games as well. And it's because that there's always so much energy. You know, I had a ritual when I played after every pitch. I think I picked this up from a guy who used to play for the Red Sox. His name was Nomar Garciaparra, who played shortstop, and try to spell that name. But I would step out and I would adjust my gloves, my batting gloves, a couple times, just like him. But then when we were on a win streak, I remember in 6th grade, I played for the Braves, or at least that was our team name, I guess. But we were on a win streak of like 11 games, and we all agreed we are not washing our jersey until we lose. You know, you got to keep that winning sweat on there and everything. I don't think that would go over as well, quite as good in football or basketball, but baseball, it kind of worked. So that's what I kind of want to hear, is what everybody else's kind of traditions, or if they had any special rituals or superstitions. You know, don't step on the foul line. That was a big one before the game. So I was kind of wondering if anybody else has any of those old superstitions, rituals, anything like that.
I mean, most of the time before I step in the box, I'll draw a cross with the hand on my bat. But
okay, so that's a little superstitious. Okay, all right. So what about Coach M? You know, you played in college, so I'm sure you had quite a few you picked up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it goes back to like my high school coach. He was very superstitious. Like, he would eat the same meal before a game until like we lost, and then he'd switch up the meal, or he would wear the same outfit. You don't let the bats cross. They gotta be beside each other. You know, the whole like don't step on the line. We would always, whenever there were certain outs, we would do like different like throw different outs at each other. Like, we had to like go to this person first, then to this person, then to this person. There were like different chants we would do in the dugout. Like if it was like 2-2, I remember like we would like rub our hats like this, and as soon as the girl pitched it, we would like throw our hands down. So it's just like small little things like that, you know, to most people were probably like, well, that's ridiculous. But we were like, no, we're doing it. So yeah, we definitely lots and lots of those over the years. Maggie, do you have any?
For my travel team, what we do is we usually just have, like, if we win, we keep our bags in the same order whenever we hang them up in the dugout or anything. And then before a game, we'll all just go, like, around third base or first base, whichever dugout we're on. And we'll just, I don't know, talk, I guess. Or, like, cover the bag with dirt or something. I don't really know. But that's really what we do.
Okay, what about you, Coach Harrington? I know you've got a lot of baseball experience and a lot of baseball players in your family. Any special rituals, any no jersey washing going on over at the Harrington house?
Tina, don't let that happen.
Oh, absolutely. I am big time superstitious. You know, I will, like you, wear the same wear the same uniform, sliding shorts, socks. You know, do that whole eat the same thing. So very superstitious. But I will say something. You know, because I'm known for my granny glasses across the whole world now, and so. A quick one that has recently happened was my youngest son, Ben. He was his 9-year-old all-star team started. And of course, you know, I don't have, you know, today I'm sporting my blacks and they look pretty sharp. You know, they're not as grainy as I normally do. But anyway, I looked around. I couldn't find any glasses to make out the lineup the very first tournament game. And so the only things I had in the car were these pink, reddish granny glasses, and I put them on. I wrote the lineup out, and I got picked on. I got cracked on. Everybody made fun of me, moms, dad. It was, you know, but we won the game was the main thing. And of course, you know, I broke out the granny glasses again for the next game and the next game and the next game and the next game. And needless to say, those granny glasses, it wasn't the players that got us to the World Series. I'm talking World Series for 9-year-olds.
Shut up.
it was the granny glasses. It was not the player's talent. It was not the kids hitting the baseball. It was the granny glasses that got us all the way to Florida, playing teams across the United States of America. And to this day, those kids need to know that it was the granny glasses that got us there. So one quick thing before we get off the air, because I'm huge about softball chants. I'm glad you brought that up, Stevens. What's your favorite softball chant, Maggie? And then I'm going to share you what my favorite softball chant is.
Well, we do one for every number. It's like a different one. So it's like number 9 hit down the line or something. But like each number has a different one. So I think that's pretty fun to do because it's not all the same thing.
I got you. I guess my favorite one that I have that you guys used to do this and it just sticks to my head and I love it is win the battle, 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 win the battle. That is just awesome. I mean, it is just the one I love. So anyway, I'll send it back to Coach Stevens. I'm sure he's got some rituals or Coach Staff's got some rituals. So
yeah, I think Coach Staff has a little baseball history. I believe her husband worked for the Pirates, if I remember correctly, and maybe he had some special stuff that he did to get the Pirates going.
Yeah, he may have. So he was the strength coach for the Pirates. I want to say this was like 2010, 2011. So this was actually before we got together, so I can't say too much. I'm sure that he had experienced some superstitions with them, without a doubt. And my personal superstitions, my life revolves around food. So, and everything I'll talk about is about racing and running. But I always eat the same food the night before. I always have gluten-free pasta with broccoli and grilled chicken. And then in the morning, I know your faces are like, who would eat that? And then in the morning of a race, I'll wake up real early and have a plain bagel and then like a couple spoonfuls of peanut butter. And then my only superstition about my clothes is I run in all black. So I'm pretty serious about my all black attire. I even like to wear it to teach PE. I like to feel like a ninja. I think it's intimidating. So, I mean, even if my race times don't intimidate the other racers, hopefully my all black attire will. So that's my only clothing superstition. And I always go for donuts and an iced coffee after my race. Really refuel with the quality nutrients.
Okay, so you do eat a little bit normal afterwards. You do have a unique diet though, so I got to ask, what is there a best flavor of like grass or tree root that tastes better?
I had a good mixed green salad last night. It was a plethora of spinach and romaine, but I really stay away from the iceberg lettuce. No iceberg lettuce in my house.
Okay, so the only kind of lettuce I eat. Okay, great to know. That's not good for me. All right, so I know you had a question about food. So I think it was about favorite kind of baseball ballpark food. What's the kind of favorites for everybody? To me, nothing is more American than watching baseball or softball with a good hot dog and a nice, well, this is G-rated, so a nice cold Coke to go with it. Y'all know what I mean. So, but we'll throw it over to y'all to see what y'all's favorite kind of ballpark food is, because there is a lot, and they're all terrible for you, but they all taste amazing. So let's start with Coach M on that one.
Oh man, it really depends on the day. Cause like a good pretzel, I like a good pretzel with a little mustards, right? And then sometimes you're just in a mood for something sweet. So like some cotton candy or some like peanuts to kind of like balance it out. Oh man, there's a lot of good options out there. Coach Harrington, I know you got a fave.
I am a sunflower seed man. So sunflower seeds are my go-to in baseball season. So sunflower seeds, dill pickle.
All right, Coach Staff, let's hear what weird ballpark food you're eating.
I don't think it's weird, but I do find it interesting that we all like different things. But at Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies stadium, it's right next door to a restaurant called Chickies and Pete's. And Chickies and Pete's is famous for these fries. They're called crab fries. And all it is, I believe it's just Old Bay seasoning that they put on the crab fries, and they serve it with like a cup of like this special cheese sauce. Not sure what it is, but man, now I want some crab fries, and I'm like 900 miles away. Rats. How about you, Sercy? What's your favorite ballpark food?
I like a cinnamon pretzel with Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew. But at Northview, they got good loaded nachos.
Oh, nice. All right, Miss Maggie, what is it what's your go-to during those long days at the softball tournaments?
I like sweets better than anything, so probably like Dippin' Dots, I guess, or like a snow cone or something.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we all are very varied on our choices here. So that's it for Around the Stable. We hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about some baseball and softball today. Hopefully you learned a little something, and stay tuned for your workout. This is our first student workout sent in to us. So you're going to be working out with Stryker Peterson. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you next week.
Okay, we will be doing my own workout that I created, a bunch of random exercises. So,
with me.
Let's go. First up is 40-second star burpees.
Okay.
Okay, that's the end. Now we will have a 20-second break. Okay. Next up is 40-second sit-ups. So, let's start it.
No, it's jumping jacks.
Okay, never mind. It's jumping jacks.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, that's the end. We will have a 20-second break, then we will be doing sit-ups.
Okay.
Okay, time for the 40-second sit-ups.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, that's the end. Now we have a 20-second break, then we will be doing 40-second mountain climbers. Whoop. Okay, time for 40-second mountain climbing. Here we go. Okay, now we have another 20-second break, then a 40-second jog in place. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, time for the jog in place.
For 40 seconds.
Five, four, three, 2, 1.
Now 20 seconds.
Okay, now we have a 20-second break. Then we'll be doing more star burpees.
That's about to start it. She's gonna come home.
They may not want to come home today.
Why?
They're just monitoring her and some. They want to make sure she's good before they actually release her.
Okay.
She's sick to her stomach and can't really eat and stuff. So.
Okay, now we'll be doing
Well,
the
hopefully she can come home
40-second star burpees. Okay, let's go.
Find out what they say.
Yeah.
I'll get you guys lunch and then I'll head down there.
I wish we could go down there and see it.
Unfortunately, it's just with COVID and stuff, that's,
They won't allow us.
yeah, because they gotta control visitors and everything. It's like being in the hospital and things like that, COVID.
Just say I haven't seen
You just
her.
have to see her via Google Duo.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the end of the 40-second star burpees. Time for a 20-second break. Then we'll be doing some more 40-second jumping jacks.
Sorry I didn't do them with you. But, sorry.
20-second break.
I really thought she was going to be able to come home today.
Okay, now it is time for the 40-second break. Or not 40-second break, 40-second jumping jacks.
Yep. Jumping jacks are my favorite of these things on here.
Because they're easy.
No, it's because they're fun. You know what I mean? Fun and easy.
Easy. What is fun? They get harder when you can like do them continuously.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't say they get hard. I guess you just kind of get tired of them in a way.
was the same thing over and over again. Okay. Time for the 20-second break. Then we have 40-second sit-ups.
Little doggos, little baby. All outside playing. This should be with ow. Little doggo.
Okay, now it is time for our next exercise. Okay, now, since this is the next thing, we're going to be doing some sit-ups.
Let's go. I'm on my spot. Okay. Here we are. Actually, now I remember doing sit-ups. I think we already did sit-ups, but I think so. I think so, because I remember you were going like so fast and I was going slow.
If we did sit-ups, just ignore them.
Yeah, we're doing it again. It's okay. More workout. That's a good way to put it.
Or you can just skip to the next workout.
Yeah. Don't gotta watch us do this again.
Time for 20-second break. Sorry, that was weird.
Yeah, you think. So next we are going to be doing mountain climbers.
Okay, time for the mountain climbers.
Let's go. Time to do. Actually, that's the sit-up position.
Wait, wrong position.
Wrong position. So now this hurts my feet. Like when you slide it against it and you're going like in that constant motion, especially like on the tile. I'm about to move up here to
tile. For me, it's this stuff in between.
I'm about to do it. I'm about to do this on the carpet because I can't do it like that. Do it like this. Yeah, because see, it feels better when I do it on the carpet. But when I'm doing it on the tile,
okay,
it's like rubs against my foot and
break.
And next, we are going to be jogging in place for 40 seconds. Hair's gotten so curly.
Okay, now it is time to jog in place. Let's go.
Jogging in place. Jogging in place. Jogging in place. Let's jog in place. Not actually jogging over there. That's what it is. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay, time for another 20-second break. And then this is our second round, so after we do our last little round thingy, we'll be good.
I'm surprised that there's like layers under it. Usually it's just like the top.
Now that we're done, we will be doing our last round.
Yes.
So, let's get started. 40-second starboard.
Okay, 40 seconds.
The whole thing, I'm going to jump into it.
I know. I'm about to do this on the carpet again because I cannot with the feet. like that the whole time, but I can't. I'm like right done with it. That makes sense. Three, two, 1, 0. Next. The next we will be doing jumping jacks. I feel like you're so lucky that in every single workout you get a 20-second break in it. Lucky. Okay, now that we are done with our break, we will be doing jumping jacks. Okay, let's go. Now this isn't really bothering because you're not in that motion. Right, you're supposed to like clap at the top. There's a choice. I usually do that. They get like this goes. It depends how your arms are. What do you mean? Because if they're like this, they'll clap and lift. Like this. I usually do it like that. Just like my hands are just not certain position. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Done. Now we have a 20-second break, and then we will be doing sit-ups. Yep. Okay, that's the end of our 20-second break. Next up we'll be doing sit-ups. So we'll be doing 40-second sit-ups. So let's go. Okay, got the timer going. You said sit-ups. I'm like, said sit-ups. You're not supposed to go all the way back. You're supposed to go like right here. You're supposed to go like that. Okay. Now that is done, we'll have another 20-second break. And then we will be doing some mountain climbers. That did not sound exciting. Okay, so let's start doing those mountain climbers. I was just in a sit-up position. Told you can't do this. Can't do that. Can't do that. Sorry if I'm trying not to block you. Okay. 20-second break. Now we'll be doing a 40-second
jog in place.
See my shadow. Jog, 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 jog. Okay. I don't know, that looks good. Feel good. Okay, that is the end of our workout today. So bye. And Wait, no, we don't.
Hoped you liked it.